Hello everyone, my name is Leonora. Welcome to Soul Searching Tarot. Today I want to highlight the Divine Masculine Energy read for the month of April of 2026. I also will be doing the Divine Feminine Energy read for April 2026, either tomorrow or sometime this week. So just give me some time to upload those. But today I'm going to concentrate on the masculine energy, the divine masculine energy. Now, of course, this has nothing to do with gender, right? Masculine energy and feminine energy has nothing to do with gender. It's an energy that we hone within, right? So in astrology, masculine energy are fire signs, right? And air signs. So fire signs, air signs are considered masculine energy. Right, so if you have strong Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, those are considered to be masculine energies. Feminine energies are more of the earth and water signs, right? So earth, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, water, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, those are considered to be more feminine, right? So masculine is the doing, right? That's considered a masculine energy, the doing, and the being is more of a feminine energy, right? The doing and the being, the yin and the yang. Yeah, I think I'm going to segue now to the book Being Human, because on chapter 5 I actually do talk about balancing the both, right? So I did write this book along with Lone Wolf. It's the reason why I've been in a hiatus for quite some time and not really showing my face on YouTube, because I was working on this Being Human and my Oracle 33 cards. All the links you could find in the description box or in my bio. You could get this in an ebook, you could get the hard copy. It's up to you. But yeah, the new book does highlight achieving and balancing the harmony of the yin and yang, the masculine and the feminine energy. And just to read real quick before I get started, by the way, I am going to do all zodiac signs, Aries through Pisces. I will have it in the description box. I don't know if I said that. It'll be time stamped, but I'll also have it here so that you could see who I'm reading for at the moment. But yeah, you know, toxic masculine energy and toxic feminine energy stems from somewhere, right? The book highlights that. Like somebody who is wounded or somebody who is unbalanced may present some of these toxicities or behaviors, right? So let's just start off with unbalanced and wounded masculine energy before we go into toxicity, because a lot of these experiences are expressed through anxiety, right? So a unbalanced wounded masculine energy can be expressed and expressed in the following ways: through anxiety, through defensiveness, through forcefulness, through rigidity, narcissism, emotional suppression, controlling behavior, perfectionism, restlessness, emotional distance, commanding presence, and offensive behavior. But if these behaviors are not met with some kind of communication, trust, therapy, it can manifest into emotional unavailability, aggression, belittling others, excessive competitiveness, abusive and violent tendency, and insecurities, right? So I think it's important that both masculine and feminine energy is honed in within us. Of course, some of us are going to have more masculine tendencies than feminine, and other people are going to have more feminine energy within themselves versus masculine. As long as you could operate from the being and the doing, then you are already ahead of me, right? Yeah, so a lot of what the book demonstrates is just being who you are, truly who you are, and how to fulfill yourself by being yourself, right? Being human. All right, so let's get started. I think that's all I wanted to say and highlight that specific point in the book, since I am doing a masculine energy read. Again, masculine energy read for all zodiac signs. I am going to start with the sign of Aries. Okay, great, Aries. fire sign, masculine. I love that. Let's start with the first zodiac sign, sun, moon, rising. Okay. All right. So I'm going to be using a few of my tarot decks here, as well as oracle cards here. So each sign will get probably a different tarot deck. I already shuffled a lot of them, but I do want to see what's going on for my Aries, sun, moon, rising for the month of April 2026. A lot of the planets are in Aries. If you do follow astrology, we're about to go into Aries season. If we haven't already, actually we are already in Aries season. So a lot of our planets are in Aries. We're about to have a full moon in Libra, Aries, which is the polar opposite of your house. It is your sister house. So there's a full moon coming up, I think April 2nd. In the sign of Libra. So you may have some kind of effect. That's the word I was looking for. Some kind of effect from the full moon, because the full moon will be in Libra. Okay. But overall, I think that in the cosmos right now, the planets transiting, there is a lot of Pisces and there is a lot of Aries in the cosmos, right? So those two houses are transiting really strongly in the air. Pisces means letting go. Aries means bringing in a new energy, right, through some kind of spark. It's fast nonetheless, right? Aries is fire, Pisces is more water. So I think at this time you may have to balance the both. Speaking of, balancing both masculine and feminine energy, Pisces is a feminine energy, Aries is a masculine energy. So try to remember, maybe during this time, if you are kind of struggling somewhere in any area of your life, especially within yourself, try to balance both energies. Okay, so let's see what the cards say. All right, so what is going on for the month of April for my Aries? So I got the Wheel of Fortune and the Three of Cups, but they both came out in a reverse. I'm going to be using the Edgar Allan Poe for my Aries. So here we have the Jupiter card, right? Jupiter, I think right now Jupiter is in Cancer. Yeah. Which is another cardinal sign. Actually, it's exalted. Jupiter is exalted in Cancer, which is a good thing. And because it's a fellow cardinal sign of yours, it's definitely aspecting your birth chart somewhere in your chart. You may have Cancer in your birth chart, either Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio. Sorry, you may have Cancer in your birth chart either through moon, rising, or sun. And then we have the Three of Cups, which also is a water sign, Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. Yeah, I'm feeling too much feminine energy here, but the Jupiter card is actually a masculine energy, but it does know how to hone in both the yin and the yang. But they both came out in the reverse, and I just feel like the wheel is turning backwards, and I think it's your brain, your mind, moving backwards, right? It may have to do with a relationship with the Three of Cups. It could be, like a relationship that didn't last for that long. It's kind of what I'm assuming here because of the cards coming in reverse. So maybe the relationship didn't last long, and I don't know what long is for you. 2 months, 2 years, I don't know, Aries, you tell me. But it just feels like this is plaguing your mind at the moment. It's plaguing your emotions for sure with the Three of Cups. So I think for the month of April, you may be stuck in an energy of rewinding the clock with the Wheel of Fortune. Because of a past relationship. It's Jupiter in Cancer. Interesting that I said Jupiter in Cancer, and right now we are in Jupiter in Cancer because Three of Cups is a Cancer energy. And I think it is maybe affecting you. I did say that, but I'm kind of like confirming it now. And I think that your friends and family are there for you, trying to tell you like, listen, the relationship wasn't good for you, or were you really thinking of being in that relationship for long term? It's bothering you, right? It could have been a marriage, right? With the Three of Cups, I do see some kind of celebration in the background. Could have been a marriage. Maybe you guys share children or a child in common. For a small group of you, just a small group of you, I do feel like somebody sabotaged this relationship, because when I look at the Three of Cups, there's this demon here in the background, right? Everybody's having a good time with their mask on and their costumes, masquerade, whatever. And then there's this like, somebody don't belong here, right? They could have been at your wedding. I don't know. They could be a family member or some kind of acquaintance, co-worker, ex. But this demon is just telling me like they were like jealous of your union or didn't want the union to happen. They might have been the cause of the breakup, right? For some of you, this person's a mope. Whoever this ex is, or whoever this, family member or friend that did not want you two to be together, has a miserable life. Their life is miserable. So because your life wasn't miserable during the time that you had this union with this person, they were manifesting bad things to happen in your union. That's for some of you, not for all of you. For the rest of you, I think that the relationship just did not work out for whatever reason that may be. You know that story more than me, but I do think that it's working. Your mind is working overtime about this relationship. And I do think you have great supporters here. Some good, some not. But, I do think that there's some supporters here that are, trying to help you grieve during this time, or trying to help you get over this particular time with this person that you had a relationship with. I'm going to clarify these cards with the Black Mirror Tarot. I'm going to see what's going on with you, Aries, and see if I could get a little bit of advice from the energy that I picked up here. All right, see if you could get any advice, message from higher self ancestors during this time for the month of April. Obsession. So this is my Black Mirror Tarot. My Black Mirror Tarot has a lot to do with the subconscious. It also has a lot to do with the 5 stages of grief, right? The 5 stages of grief are, let's see if I could remember it in order. Denial, bargaining, anger, depression, and then acceptance. Those are the 5 stages of grief. And with obsession, I feel like it has a lot to do with bargaining. Like it's been between denial and bargaining, right? So a lot of you may want to get back with this person, right? You may be thinking of getting back with this person. So you may be obsessed in your thoughts at the moment. This could be you, Aries. This could be someone that the energy doesn't necessarily have to apply to you. It could be someone that you are currently aware of that may be going through this, that you knew or used to know, someone that you used to know. Sorry, I'm singing voice is not great. Some of you may have a child in common. Some of you may do share a child in common, or there is some kind of children that was present in the relationship, whether it was yours or this person's. But number 3 may be of a significance. Some of you may have birthdays in March, or you have life path number 3. Some of you might have been together for 3 years, is kind of what I'm hearing. But there is some kind of obsession going on with the obsession card here. Again, I feel like it's more overthinking than anything else. And, I don't think that some of you are obsessed with this person or vice versa. I just think that there is a lot of late nights behind this relationship that is probably no longer, and maybe for a couple of you it's still going on, but it's not working out. Something about it's not working out. All right, so I feel like this is what's going to be happening in the month of April or beyond. Anything else? Let's get a past life situation here. What's going on with you two? Because it does feel very, especially with the Wheel of Fortune here, it feels like unfinished business. Let's get a past life card here. I'm gonna get 2 and see what's going on here. Spirituality and religion, community living. So I just want to see what's going on between you two. Is it a past life connection? Is it a connection that somebody cannot get over the other person, or maybe both of you can't get over each other? Some of you may have dreams about each other. Some of you may experience 5D activity from the other person. Especially with the spirituality and religion card, like I do see some of you may have dreams about this person, or somebody here is very in tune with their 5D powers, and they may astral travel to you, or they may put in thoughts, or they may alter or try to manifest some kind of different outcome or reality for you, and you're thinking that it's it's driving you crazy, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? But I think that somebody here has a very strong 5D sense of the astral world here, and may very well know how to time travel or astral travel. Somebody really wants the other person really bad. When I see communal living, so you do have a past life with each other. When I do see communal living, I think that you two had a mission in a past life, and you guys met again in this lifetime to either continue that mission, or just to meet with each other one more time for a specific mission. But something happened here. Somebody was low vibrational, or somebody just changed along the way, and they weren't the person that they used to be. And it broke up the relationship, or it's breaking up the relationship, and it's not working anymore, right? Somebody matured, somebody went their own way. But with communal living, I think that this past person does want to come back to you, and not only want to see you, but I think that they want to be in a commitment with you with communal living. So that's all I have to say about that situation, Aries. I hope you get something out of it. For a private reading, you're definitely more than welcome to reach me. Right now I am doing like virtual reads more so than anything. So you could reach me through email, and I could do a 3-question read, or just a reading for $33.33 virtually. Let's move on to the next sign. Virgo. Hi, Virgos. All right, so Virgo, masculine energy read for the month of April. Some of you may have a sun, moon, rising in Virgo. Virgo is a feminine energy. I think that a lot of Virgo masculine men do know how to hone in both the yin and the yang in their energy. They understand that the masculine does have a lot to do with logic and reason, while the feminine energy has a lot to do with emotions and intuition, right? So I do know lots of Virgo men who know how to hone in both energies. So let's see if we're talking about you today. So Virgo, sun, moon, rising. Again, despite gender, my readings have nothing to do with gender at this moment. A lot of people do have masculine and feminine energy within them, right? I was talking about how zodiac signs can be very masculine or feminine, right? Virgo is an earth sign, so it makes it a very feminine energy. But fire and air signs, right? If you have any of the fire or air signs in your birth chart, that could be in masculine energy that you either are in tune with or not. But it's good to be in tune with both, right? It balances, having to be able to balance both the yin and the yang, that harmony that goes that interplays between the yin and the yang, the feminine and the masculine energy, is fulfilling within a human soul, not only for your soul, but it helps you mentally, physically, and emotionally, and spiritually. So Virgo, I do have the Page of Swords and the Moon for your energy, April 2026. So some of you may have strong water in your chart, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, or air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. I do feel like somebody is trying to inquire about you on the hush. And I feel like they might have done a ritual. They may believe this. Masculines, this could be a female doing some kind of ritual on you. Vice versa if it's vice versa, because my Virgos know how to do rituals too. My Virgo men are into that kind of, spiritual work nonetheless. So take the energy as it resonates. Could be a female, because I do see the moon here. But it could be you, Virgo, doing the same thing to someone else. But there is some kind of like moon ritual. It could be moon ritual. It could be, it does feel innocent, right? It doesn't feel like harmful, right? It feels like someone just wants to know about another person. They may, with the Page of Swords here, probably tapping into your social media, if you have social media, or if they're not blocked, or whatever the case may be. But nowadays through Google you can inquire about anybody, even if your social media is blocked or you don't have social media. But I do see someone secretly with the moon card, just hiding in the shadows and inquiring about you, Virgo. Vice versa if it's vice versa. It feels like a young person, right? So this person could be younger than you with the Page of Swords here. Somebody here could have pets, like a fur baby, like a dog or a cat or both. Somebody here loves seafood here. They love to eat seafood. Or maybe somebody here may be allergic to seafood. One or the other. Seafood is kind of coming up here. Let's see what's going on here. I'm going to use my Sexual Magic Tarot for this one. Because it feels juicy. Alright, so I have the Queen of Swords. So again, strong air. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, if that means anything to you. With the Five of Wands. I think that for the month of April, right, there is someone really trying to, okay, so I got this for Aries. I don't know if someone knows an Aries or may have Aries in their chart. Aries felt more like a distant relationship, but this is like more like you either work for you either, I was gonna say work for this person, or you could work for this person, or you work with each other, with the Queen of Swords and the Five of Wands, right? Because I do see like other people with the Five of Wands in the background, right? So maybe like other people know that this person, you know, wants to know more about you. It feels like a secret relationship, or someone is secretly you know, has a crush on you, or they really like you. Could be an older feminine energy, or it could be an older masculine energy. But either way, with the Queen of Swords here, like I just feel that this Queen of Swords is like, I have a crush on this person. Yeah, it feels like, you know, there's a difference in age here, like big time, with the Queen of Swords and the Page of Swords, right? Somebody here was older than the other person, and whoever it is, I don't know if it's the younger person that has the crush on the older person, or the older person has the crush on the younger person, but somebody here is like, they really want to know more about you, and they're trying to inquire things about you. Again, could be through social media, could be, you know, with the Five of Wands, maybe they're asking co-workers, friends, family, neighbors, former co-workers, you know, about you, Virgo. Someone is seriously having a crush on you. And some of you may not even know, or you may have an idea, or you know, you might have had dreams about this person, and you know, and you're like, I don't know why I just randomly had a dream about, you know, my coworker. But I really do think, like, for some of you, they may be doing some kind of spiritual ritual, moon ritual, to kind of get you in their eyesight. And I don't know what happens after that. All right. That was your reading, Virgo. Moving on. All right. Just so you know, Virgos, I am going to try to do this every month. So I'm going to try to do the Divine Masculine Energy read and the Divine Feminine Energy read. This is for the month of April. So let's move on. Next one, Leo, masculine energy. Let's talk about it and be about it, Leos. What's going on with you? So this month, Leos, I am reading for the masculine energy, right? Despite gender, the divine masculine has a lot to do with what I said in the beginning of the intro. My book, Being Human, talks a lot about masculine and feminine energies, including, you know, how someone becomes toxic feminine or toxic masculine, right? There are signs that does manifest in the very beginning of a relationship. So definitely get my book, Being Human. The link is in the description box. You could get ebook, or you could get the hard copy. All right, so what's going on with my Leos for the month? I'm going to use my Game of Thrones tarot. What's going on with my Leo for the month of April? All right, so some of you may be collecting some money, or maybe collecting like I don't know, clothes. You guys may be having a yard sale or garage sale. I don't know where that's coming in strongly. Don't know what that means. Maybe you need to let go of some stuff, and you may need to have a yard sale or garage sale. All right, so I have here the Star card in the upright. The King of Pentacles came out in the reverse, and the Eight of Cups came out in the reverse. I feel like some of you are stuck with the King of Pentacles and the Eight of Cups in reverse. There's a stagnant behavior or energy going on here. With the King of Pentacles, could be someone that has strong earth placements, either Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn. Could be water with Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. But there's a stagnant energy or another with the earth sign here. Could be a feminine, but it could be a masculine too with the king. That is slowing you down with this like star card here. Like you're ready to do bigger and greater things, but something or someone is slowing you down. And like with the star card here, like you've planned for this, right? There's something that you've planned for this, right? It may have to do with your career, it may have to do with something spiritual, it may have to do with something that has a lot to do with something innovative or new, right? Something that probably you've never tried before. It could be some kind of excursion, or or adventure. But it's something passionate to you that you've planned with the star card here. I'm hearing Aquarius, right? So this is the Aquarius card. Some of you may have Aquarius in your birth chart. And some of you are confused, like, why is this not happening for me? What the fuck is going on? And it doesn't feel relationship wise when I look at the star card. Like it feels like something that may not even pertain to the 3D. Something that pertains even beyond that, beyond the physical world. But then you have this energy that's like, again, slowing you down, or it's a stagnant, stalemate kind of energy. Like, okay, what's going on here with the King of coins or pentacles and the Eight of Cups in the reverse? It could be money, right? Some of you may be short of funds. It may be something that you wanted to do personally and passionately, can't be fulfilled with the funds being depleted with the Eight of Cups here, right? Maybe just recently something happened where you needed to give away money to someone or something. And it feels like a downer when I look at the Eight of Cups, and Jon Snow is like walking through those big wooden doors, and his head is down, like he has to face the music. Like he's facing the music, he doesn't like it. Let's see what else is going on here. Too many. Let's clarify the star card. Let's clarify the star card. What's going on with the star card? All right, there's too many cards. I do not want these many cards. I'll take 2 cards. All right, I'll take 3. Sorry, talking to myself. All right, so the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, the King of Wands in the upright, and the Ten of Pentacles in the upright. And this is clarifying the star card. Yeah, you're not happy right now with the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. And a lot of it has to do with finance. When I see these 3 cards together, Nine of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, Ten of Pentacles. However, the Ten of Pentacles came up in the upright, right? We have the 9 to the 10, right? It feels short-lived, right? The Nine of Pentacles was in reverse. Nine of Pentacles is feeling the physical reality of like, this is not happening. But the Ten of Pentacles is a completion, and the Ten of Pentacles was in the upright. So it feels like something that will eventually move forward, will eventually be abundant. I just feel like for a lot of you with the King of Wands in the upright, right? You have two kings here. One came up in the upright, one in the reverse, right? So the King of, because I'm reading for Leo, the King of Wands came up in the upright, but the King of Pentacles did not. I think a lot of it, for a lot of the down, like, you know, like the face being like, you know, with the Jon Snow, just like putting his head down, like, you know, something is not manifesting here, you're not being fulfilled in some area of your life. For a lot of you, it has a lot to do with the 5D. I don't know what that means, but it feels like a passionate mission of yours nonetheless, right? You're like, don't ask me any question, I'm just going with it, right? With the Star card here. But with the King of Wands in the upright for a Leo card, you know, I do see it being, again, very temporary. Again, with the King of Pentacles in the reverse, it just feels that it has a lot to do with money, right? Or the economy is not going well, and it's frustrating, right? It can frustrate any masculine, especially if that masculine has a family, bills to pay, you know. But it feels temporary. I feel it. I feel it, and it feels temporary, right? I think that you will eventually figure it out with the Star card and the King of Wands, right? Or with the Star card just being here, this first card out, some miracle may happen. No joke. Like some miracle, some download, some outside help. Your spirit guides, your ancestors are like, we got you, you know, we got you. Just hold on for a second, Leo. We got you. Not right now is what I'm hearing. Not right now. Yeah, I hope that made sense, Leo. All right, so let's move on. That was for Sun, Moon, Rising in Leo. All right, moving on to the next sign. Who will be the next sign? All right, so I'm doing this. This is again the energy read. Energy read. Masculine, divine masculine energy read for the month of April. Let's talk about Scorpio right now. Sun, Moon, Rising in Scorpio. Scorpio, what is going on for you in the month of April or beyond? Let's find out. Let me use my I'm going to use my Rider-Waite for you, Scorpio. All right, some of you feminines may know a Scorpio male, or some of you masculine and feminine may know somebody that has strong Scorpio in their chart. Scorpio is a feminine energy. It's a water sign, but it's like a fire water sign, right? It's like, it could, like a Scorpio can hone in both energies. Scorpios can hone both masculine and feminine energies. Just like a Virgo. There's something about Virgo and Scorpios that are like, yeah, you know, we have feminine energy, but we know how to hone in both the yin and the yang, right? Which I talked about a lot in the beginning of the intro. So I have here the King of Wands, sorry, the Queen of Wands. Some of you could be kings. It's okay. Some of you may have strong fire in your chart, right? Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. And then we have here the Seven of Cups. Some of you have like a spirit animal, a black cat. This black cat could manifest in real life. So it may be a cat that you may see here and there, like the neighbor's cat comes and pays you a visit, or, you know, it doesn't have to be a black cat, but it could be any cat. It could be a spiritual cat, right? It could be a spirit animal, right? Some of you may have Year of the Cat right? If you know about Chinese astrology, you may have that in your Chinese zodiac sign. You may be the cat. I'm also hearing Cancer, and Leo. Cancer and Leo. Scorpio. Some of you, not all, but some of you are doing different things in the 3D, in the physical world, to make money, right? For you to make money, right? It could be different things, right? Like you may have your 9 to 5, but you also have like a graveyard shift, or you also have like a side business, or you're also investing in real estate or the market. But it feels like you have more than one income coming through with the 7 of Cups here, and you manifest these things. Like you're like, okay, like I think today I'm going to open up a laundromat. I think I'm going to write down my 5-year plan to open up a laundromat, or make money through some kind of service or product. And you have these great ideas, with the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands is very creative, very intuitive. And I think that you, Scorpio, my masculine Scorpio energy here, are in tune with your feminine energy, right? Because the feminine is creative. The feminine is intuitive. With the Queen of Wands and the 7 of Cups here. And I think that for the month of April, it looks really good, right? It looks really, really good, right? Let's clarify it. Let's keep clarifying it with the same cards. I was going to use a whole different set of cards, but I kind of like the way this is going with the Rider-Waite. So what else is going on for the month of April for my Scorpios? For my Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising. 5 of Wands. Sorry, 5 of Cups. Which is actually a Scorpio energy. 5 of Cups is a Scorpio energy. Interesting. There's something deep, dark, festering inside of my Scorpios here. And it's a cloaked behavior, or a cloaked emotion or expression with the 5 of Cups here. It feels like, first of all, some of you in relationships, once you pair yourself up with someone else in an intimate way, the other person cannot forget about you, right? There is something very special and sexual and passionate about you, Scorpio, that other people with the 3 of Cups here on the floor cannot forget about you. However, some of you may be in a marriage or relationship with another person with the 2 of Cups behind, but needless to say, there is a dark cloaked energy that I cannot stop talking about or feeling. Let me use these cards here. I do want to dig into it because it feels spiritual, feels very 5D. What is going on, my Scorpios here for the month of April or beyond? What are they being influenced with? How are they being influenced? What is influencing them? Uranus. Right now Uranus is in Gemini. Unless it went back to Taurus. No, I think it's still in Gemini. Or it just went back to Gemini. Some of you may have Uranus and Scorpio in your birth chart. There's something mercurial about this energy, like the magician, right? If I had to look at the Five of Cups and the Uranus card together, it's the energy of the magician, and the tarot card has a major arcana. And there is something very interesting, to say the least, but more so like you're able to communicate beyond the 3D realm. You're able to receive messages beyond the physical world. Not surprising for a Scorpio who is a water sign and is able to connect or interconnect with either dimensions. You may have Aquarius in your birth chart with the Uranus card here. I feel like you guys have been getting downloads either through dreams, visions, or thought hearing about something that's about to unfold. With the Uranus card here, like something futuristic. And I think that you try to tell people, like, you know, like you may tell people, like you predict things, right? It could be through the economy, right? So you may predict things that may happen in the economy. So some of you are very, you know, financially savvy. It could be messages from ancestors, spirit guides, even dead people with the Scorpio card here, right? And you try to communicate those messages to someone or to the collectives, right? You're really good at that. And I think a lot of people look at you like, ooh, this is too much for me, right? Or some of you may make money off of it, or trying to find out how to make money off of it. Remember I said with the Seven of Cups, you guys are like trying to figure out a different avenue to make money. So you could do this through spiritual workings. The Queen of Wands does represent someone who is very like a witch, you know, or a warlock in this case, since I'm talking about my Scorpio masculine. I'm going to stop there because I think for you, Scorpios, the month of April is going to bring a lot of downloads, visions, and predictions. And you need to get a diary or a journal and jot this down, because you're getting messages here. And it could help the collectives, it could help you, it could help your family. But whatever the case may be, there is a crossroad, but more so than a crossroad. But when I mean crossroad, it just feels like there's different energies, different dimensions and realities cross wiring. I don't know why I want to say that. Your energy right now. Let me know if that makes sense. Tell me what's happening with you, Scorpio. All right, moving on. I do love that energy. I love that energy for you, Scorpios. I think a lot of it has a lot to do with your dreams. So just, you know, be aware of your dreams. Write down what's going on in your dreams, but also your visions, your thoughts, your ideas. All right, moving on. Who is next? Aquarius. Let's talk about it and be about it, Aquarius. Masculine energy, air sign. Right now, Pluto is in Aquarius. We are in the age of Aquarius, right? I think, if I'm not mistaken, the North Node is in Aquarius or will be in Aquarius, either in Vedic or tropical. I am all over the place, guys, so just forgive me I think it will actually, it's going to go into Aquarius. It's going to go into Aquarius in December. But I think in Vedic, it's already in Aquarius. In Vedic, we are in the North Node. Rahu is in Aquarius. I don't know why I have to tell you that. To have North Node energy or Rahu in Aquarius during this time is significant. It feels like some kind of revolution, some kind of fight that you may be a part of or are planning to be a part of or execute. Some kind of rebellion is what I'm hearing. Could be spiritual rebellion, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be government rebellion, but it could be spiritual rebellion. But let's move on. Let's see, what cards can I use for you? I'm going to use my Edgar Allan Poe. Alright, so I am reading for my masculines, right? Anyone can hold masculine energy, but some have it more than others. So I'm not talking to a specific gender, but I am talking very strong to my divine masculine for the month of April 2026. What is going on? What is going on, Aquarius? What is coming through for Aquarius at this time? Okay. All right, I have 4 cards here. I have the 5 of Pentacles. I have the Tower in reverse. Mars, Scorpio, Aries energy. I have the 10 of Pentacles in the upright. I have the 10 of Swords in the upright. Interesting. So 2 10s back to back. 10 of Pentacles, 10 of Swords. Ooh, this is heavy energy. Aquarius. It feels not from this world. When I look at the 10 of Swords here, I feel like some of you may be like, I feel ghost or spirit around you. Could be more than one. Some of you may have ties, like a strong spiritual tie or connection to ancient Egypt. With the 10 of Pentacles here, some of you may have a very strong bloodline that is tied to ancient Egypt, or somewhere in Africa. Doesn't have to be Egypt, could be somewhere from Africa. It's a very strong bloodline. And I think that this spirit with the 10 of Pentacles and the 10 of Swords back to back here, 10-10, is making you aware of something, or has been making you aware of something, right? Your bloodline, specifically your bloodline with the 10 of Pentacles here. And of course, it's hard to trace your bloodline to ancient Egypt, right? Some of you probably do have ancestors, you know, from ancient Egypt, but it's like, oh, that, you know, ancient is ancient. You know, can your bloodline go that far? Your DNA go that far? I don't know. Maybe for some of you, maybe not. You know, maybe that the generations that have surpassed in the last, you know, 2, 3, 4 centuries have watered down that bloodline. Is the only way I could describe it. It's like the strong bloodline has been watered down in the past 3 or 4 generations. And I feel like there's this spirit or this ghost around you, or this ancestor maybe that's giving you a map on how to rekindle with your ancestors or your bloodline or your powers, your inherited powers. It feels like an ancestor, right? It does feel like an ancestor. With the Five of Pentacles and the Tower in the reverse, feels like a whole different energy. It feels more in the 3D, in the physical world, right? This felt more like a 5D kind of situation, but this feels like more like a 3D situation. I think like for some of you, the Tower is in reverse, so it does feel like, and the Five of Pentacles came up in the upright, it does feel like some of you went through some kind of financial difficulty in the past, but has slowly, got yourself out of it. Like whatever happened to you in the past, it could have been, you lost your house with the Five of Pentacles. Somebody could have stole your identity, with the Five of Pentacles, right? Like the, credit card, something with your credit card or your credit. For some of you, your job, right? You might have lost your job, or you just was in a very tough financial situation. With the Tower card here in reverse, it just feels like it was a while ago, like you were able to, or you have been, able to let go of that past energy. It felt like it happened suddenly. And it also feels like this is coming back around, like karma is coming back around. Like it feels like whatever terrible thing that happened to you financially with the Five of Pentacles, there's good karma coming back around with this in the reverse. Like, it happened to you, it was awful, but in the month of April or beyond, it feels like good karma is coming. Especially when I see the Ten of Pentacles right next to the Tower card. Like it feels like, okay, well, this energy happened and it was terrible, it was awful. It could have happened a year ago, it could have happened 2 years ago, I don't know, it could have happened a month ago. But it feels like the month of April beyond, it feels like you're going to get yourself back in order financially. You're going to be able to get that job you wanted, or you're going to be able to rent that apartment or house. You're going to be able to, figure out and budget, what you need in order to, get on top with the Ten of Pentacles. You have two different kind of energies, but it feels like intertwined, because I do feel like your spirit guides and ancestors are 100% behind you, protecting you, giving you some kind of idea, or just reminding you, like, Aquarius, that this is not real. Right? This is not real, right? You are in the matrix, and the matrix will make you believe that it's real. The physical world will make you believe that it's real, right? Whether it's ongoing wars, terrorism, violence, restraints in finance, economy. It's going to make you feel like it's real. Why? Because your ego gets in the way, especially if you're listening to the news, or if you're really, up to date with what's going on in the narrative of this physical world. It's going to bother you in some shape, form, or other. But when I look at the Ten of Pentacles and the Ten of Swords, that very first energy that I read for you, they're like, you're not even part of this physical world. Stop it. You're royalty. And we want you to hone in into that DNA that you were given through inheritance, but it seemed to have dissipated through maybe toxic generation or generational patterns. I would definitely continue, if you haven't done so already, working on what your ancestor wants you to do with this map here. Like, what are you listening to? What are you hearing? What are your downloads? What are your dreams? What is your past life even? Because there's something very important there that it may be part of this 3D mission, and or it may help you figure out what to do next or what's coming next. I hope that made sense. Aquario. I know that was a little way inter or extra dimensional, whatever you want to call it, but yeah, those are the messages I give sometimes. And that's what came through for you, my loves. All right, let's move on. All right, so what's next? Who's next? Cancer. Cancer, you came out a lot. I was just pre-shuffling these cards and I kept seeing Cancer. Like, it wanted me to read for you first, and I was like, calm down. I have not even hit the record button. So Jupiter's in Cancer right now, which is very favorable. Some of you may have a sun, moon, or rising in Cancer. If you were listening to my intro, right, I was talking about the harmony between masculine and feminine energy. So even though I am reading for my masculine energy for the month of April, you know, Cancer is a feminine energy, right? Cancer is intuitive, it's emotional, it's spiritual, right? It's the act of being in the present moment. So a lot of you Cancer masculine men, or Cancer masculine energy, understand the importance of family, understand the importance of career, right? Cancer and Capricorn go hand in hand, right? Because Capricorn is your sister sign. Capricorn is an earth sign, but it's also your sister house, right? It is a polar opposite of Cancer. So a lot of you are really in tune with, you know, having a family, taking care of your family, building a legacy. You know, real estate comes to mind when it comes to the sign of Cancer. Owning your own business. Definitely, you know, being an overachiever in the 3D world. That's my Cancer. Nothing's wrong with that. But you do take the physical world very seriously. You do take the physical world. The opposite of what I just read for Aquarius. But for Cancer energy, I think that some of you may need a break from the 3D world and maybe balance the 3D and 5D energy, and or some of you may have to be more in tune with the earth, right? The energies of the earth can help ground you, or, you know, uplift some kind of spiritual gift that you were already born with, but needs to be either tapped into again, or it needs to be upgraded, or you need to remember where you came from, you know, and know that you are a kid, like a spirit that is able to uplift humanity in a very positive way, if that makes sense. All right, so with that being said, I think I'm going to use my Sexual Magic Tarot on you guys. There's something very intimate about your reading that I'm feeling. So, I mean, even though it says Sexual Magic Tarot, it doesn't have to be sexual, but it definitely is intimate. So let's find out what's going on with my Cancer for the month of April 2026. What is going on with my Cancerians? Let's find out. All right, so I have here the Four of Swords and the Nine of Pentacles. Oh, my Nine of Pentacles card is seen better days. What used to be here? This woman used to be here with red long hair, and this man is cutting like her hair with these scissors. Sorry, my Sexual Magic Tarot has a little nudity in it. Just a little. It's harmless. With the Four of Swords here and the Nine of Pentacles. Some of you are very skilled at witchcraft or some kind of like metaphysical superpower. Some of you are very into science or pseudoscience. They call it pseudoscience, but it's quantum mechanics, right? Physics. Some of you are very into that with the Nine of Pentacles. But some of you take it a step further, and some of you try to manipulate energy as we speak with the Four of Swords and the Nine of Pentacles. Wow. So some of you don't even need advice from me. Some of you are like, I know how to do that. Right? I know how to manifest, Leonore. I know how to manipulate energy and get what I want, Leonore, through the power of the mind, meditation, through your spirit guides, ancestors even. There's something very past life about this. FYI, I gotta take my past life cards out, but there is something very past life about the Four Swords and the Nine of Pentacles, Cancer, and it feels like it has manifested into this current lifetime, right? Where your superpowers, your metaphysical gifts, and trance, like I'm hearing, and trance, meaning you're able to either hypnotize other people, or you're able to heal other people. Maybe heal and hypnotize or heal, I don't know. But this comes from a past life. Interesting, because Cancer, the fourth house, has a lot to do with past life, and childhood. Past life and childhood has a lot to do with memories. Some of you may have a South Node in Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, or a South Node in Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. If you don't know your South Node, but you know your North Node, so if you know your North Node, then you know your South Node, because the North Node, the polar opposite of the North Node. So if your North Node is in Aquarius, then your South Node is in Leo. So whatever the polar opposite of that house is, or whatever the sister house is to your North Node, is going to be your South Node, right? So if some of you have a North Node in Virgo, then you may have a South Node in Pisces, right? So it's a polar opposite. But there's something about your South Node coming in very strongly. But the South Node is something that, you know, I mean, some astrologers may look at it differently, but I think that if you incorporate both your North Node and your South Node to help you advance in this current lifetime, you'll be fine, right? A lot of the South Node energy, again, has to do with childhood behavior, or maybe in some instances, like I was talking to in my intro, I was talking about the book being human, but also how some behaviors can be seen through a masculine who is wounded, or a masculine who is unbalanced, right? Who doesn't know how to use both their feminine and masculine energy has won, or at least incorporated when it needs to be incorporated. And if they continue to have that anxiety or that perfectionism, you know, it may end up being toxic. And that toxicity could come out as violent behavior, or it could come out as narcissism, or it could come out as you know, competitive behavior, and then bingo, your or what people will define as you know, the toxic masculine energy. And we don't want that for you, Cancer, because you, out of all signs, are able to be connected to the earth, are able to be connected to the spirits, are able to be connected with the cosmos. You have a very strong tie to the moon. You guys could go either both ways. You could either, you know, hone in dark energy, but you could also hone in light energy, right? So I think let's talk beyond the masculine and feminine energy, even though it is, you know, it does have some interplay. When you hone in dark and light energy, right, I was just talking about the north and the south node, right? So north and south node is good to intertwine the both. Dark and light energy, it's good to intertwine the both. Masculine, feminine energy, yes, that would help you, right? It helps you become wholesome, right? It helps you know who you are within it. It gives you some kind of fulfilling energy of who you are and who you're supposed to be on this good loving earth, right? I think a lot of my masculine here who have Cancer, Pisces, who has Cancer in their sun rising or moon placement, doesn't have to be, you could just hone the energy of Cancer, are able to do all of the above, like all of the above, which explains this behavior, or this not behavior, but this supernatural power. There we go, the supernatural ability with the Four Swords and the Nine of Pentacles here. Let's go into your past life, because I did kind of have a feeling about, I was going to get into the South Node, and whatever your South Node is, you know, you need to hone into that energy. For example, my South Node is in Gemini, right? As a young girl, I used to lie a lot, right? That is a Gemini energy, gossip, lies. But my North Node is a Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is about teaching, telling the truth. But if you intertwine both Sagittarius and Gemini together, I am able to take, you know, the positive of things and teach others, right? Even take the experience I had as a little girl, or, you know, the toxic tendencies that I had as a little girl, or in, you know, younger in my age. Any experience, I'm able to teach that through my North Node, because the North Node does represent teaching. It does represent, you know, learning from it, and even making money from it. So baby, I'm using my past life oracle cards here with you, Cancer. When I look at baby, something, it tells me a lot about your parents, first of all. It just feels like you weren't even meant to be on this earth. You're like, you know, or I'm a star seed, or, you know, I'm an indigo child, or you know, earth is not a place where I wanted to reincarnate, but here I am again. But it just tells me that your parents, whoever your parents were, like, I feel like you were born for them. Like, your birth was to teach your parents something. I don't know what. Your childhood was to teach your parents something. And it doesn't necessarily have to be your parents. It could be your guardians, could be your aunts and uncles, your grandparents, your siblings. You know, people that were present in your life growing up, for sure. And they looked at you like, where did this baby come from? Like, you were able to speak in full sentences by the age of 1. You were able to talk about deep topics by the age of 5. You were able to heal and see into the future by the age of 10. And like, nobody in the family is like that except you, right? So that's what the baby kind of tells me about you. Some of you may have a child who is like that, right? Some of you may have a Cancerian baby or a Cancerian child who is like this, right? Who is maybe just like you, could be just like you, or is like this. But yeah, it just says to me that you operate in and out of this dimension. You not only operate from the Earth, Cancerians, but you also operate from a different planet, a different reality, a different solar system altogether. Very Star Trekky here. Didn't know where it was going to go, but it just feels like you are in control. It does feel like you're in control and you are where you need to be. So if you have any, if you're thinking that maybe like, I don't know, maybe you're thinking to yourself like you want more, something that you want more of, or it's taking too long, just know that you are exactly where you need to be. Be present, stay still, to tap into your superpowers, because they're there for a reason, and it will help you with whatever it is that you need help with. If that makes sense, my darling Cancerians. Moving on. Hope that made sense. Very interdimensional message there for you, my loves. All right, let's move on. Okay, who's next? All right, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm halfway there. I am halfway there, and we are at 1 hour and 17 minutes. Taurus. Hi, Taurus. All right, so the sun is going down a little. So I have like the 5 o'clock shadow behind me. I hope you don't mind. Taurus, my masculine, divine masculine energy. What is going on with you? I'm going to just, because since I'm halfway there, I think I deserve a treat. All right. So if you will, be so kind to maybe go to the intro, so that you could pretty much understand where this reading is going and where it has been going. But I am talking about the masculine energy and how we all have a masculine energy, and having to hone in both masculine and feminine energy can help you become whole. And the book, Being Human, can definitely help you find your way, achieve the harmony between masculine and feminine energy. But it's not, chapter 5 does talk about the masculine and feminine energy and how not addressing certain tendencies can turn into toxicity, but also it talks about other stuff too, right? So get your copy now, ebook, hard copy on Amazon. All right, let's get started. Something tells me to get into the Dark Mirror Tarot. So I'm going to get into the Dark Mirror Tarot with my masculine Taurus energy here. What is going on for April or beyond? I do plan to do this every month, guys. So fingers crossed. I would like to do this every month for my divine masculine, divine feminine energy. All right. Number 22 and 12, if that means anything to you. 222. You may be seeing the number 222. or 1222, 1212 a lot. There's something that is synchronizing for you at the moment that the universe is like trying to tell you in through numbers. It says here, I won't cry for you in artificial hearts in my Dark Mirror Tarot. Dark Mirror Tarot has a lot to do with the 5 stages of grief. It has a lot to do with the subconscious. Some of you have beautiful eyes, right? Like beautiful light eyes, right? Could be hazel, could be green, blue, violet. And through those eyes, right, the windows of the soul, you are able to see beyond the physical world, right? You're able to, you know, take away the veil, drop the veil, and so to speak, and just, you know, look beyond, right? So some of you could be psychic or clairvoyance. Some of you could be, you know, communicating with extra dimensional energies, right? Could be spirit guides, could be ancestors. Your third eye is wide open. But I feel like for some of you, you're like, well, I just learned to tap into my third eye when it comes to artificial heart, right? And I think a lot has to do with struggling to detach yourself from the physical world, struggling to detach yourself from your ego. But you guys have amazing third eye. Your crown chakra is exactly like beyond. Like you're like, you know, there's a third eye, there's a chakra, the third eye chakra, crown chakra, but then there's like this other chakra beyond the crown that you're able to tap into. But I think that sometimes this reality keeps you grounded, a little bit too grounded, meaning it's not a good or bad thing, right? It's not a good or bad thing at all. It's whatever. It is what it is. You work at your own pace, you know. Your spirit guides and ancestors are definitely there to help you and guide you and protect you. Some of you work with the earth, has an earth sign. Some of you work with the earth very well. Like you guys can know how to garden, or you have a, what do you call that? A homestead, right? Or you know how to farm. You know how to work with your hands and the earth for sure, right? You have this healing ability with your hands when it comes to the earth. And maybe that's what keeps you like attached to the earth, to the physical world. But I feel like it's more than that. I feel like people keeps you attached to the physical world. For some of you, you're able to detach yourself from the physical world. I'm not saying that you're not able to, you know, meditate and listen and get downloads, you know, from other realities and dimensions and spirit guides. But for a lot of you, I just feel like this is a new energy that you have tapped into, and you're like, what's going on here? Leonore, you know, I was able to, you know, take care of the earth and walk outside barefoot and, you know, be in tune with the elements of the earth. But all of a sudden lately, I have been on another planet and can't make sense of it. For some of you, I feel like you have like a greater love outside of this earth, right? I think that the reason why you're being called out of earth is because there's this greater love, this greater energy outside of Earth that you keep getting called to do, or called to connect with. And some of you may be aware of this energy and don't know what to make of it, right? Do you believe it? Do you not believe it? You know, is this me going crazy? No, it's not you going crazy. There is something beyond the 3D that is calling you. Interesting. When I look at the I won't cry for you. And like she's holding something in her hand that's very valuable, very ancient, very sacred. And I feel like this is what's calling you right here. It feels like it feels fragile, right? Like it feels like if it touches the earth even a little bit, it will die. Like the energy will die, or it won't operate on earth. It only operates outside of the earth. Interesting. Let's see what else comes out for you. Too much. I will take this one. And for some of you, it could be like a child, like a spirit child outside of this earth, or some kind of entity, but like a wise child, a wise entity calling you, like calling you back. And you may be in love with this entity, or you are, you feel like you need to take care of this love, this greater love. That may be a child with the gilded regret here, to clarify your energy. Number 5 could be a significance for you. Some of you may have a 5th house, strong 5th house. Could be Leo. Or life path number 5. Jupiter. Yeah, it's whatever it is feels massive. And it's hard for you to grasp the energy because you can't, in the physics kind of way, you cannot grasp the energy, right? How do you hold on to a planet? When I look at the Jupiter card here, it's like, tell me how to hold the planet in my hand. I don't know how to. But it feels that massive. It feels like you're able to do it. You're capable of doing something like that, right? Working outside of the, Newton law of physics. But maybe it's something that you're trying to figure out during this time. Like, how do I unlearn physics and hold the planet on this earth or beyond this earth? Like, you're asking yourself these questions, Taurus. When I look at Jupiter, it's very philosophical. It's something that you're probably researching at the moment, or have been researching. But it's definitely calling you. Like, I just keep getting a sense like this nudge, like, here you are with your normal life, but this nudge keeps, tapping your shoulder and like, no, what about this life over here? This great, vast, unknown darkness or planet or love that's calling you. And you're like, hold on a second, Earth. What? Like, I just feel like you're getting pulled in two directions. It's either happening to you now, or will be happening to you in the month of March. sorry, in the month of May, or beyond. All right, let's move on. I'm over you, Taurus. I do love that reading. I have been getting different kind of 5D readings for some of you signs, so I do appreciate a good extra dimensional message there. But take that message and do whatever it is that you need to do with it. I can't go beyond that. All right, Taurus, I'm over you. Next, Gemini. Hi, Geminis. How are you? All right. Let's see. What can I use for you guys? I'm gonna use my Rider-Waite. Let's go into the Rider-Waite. Let's come back down from Earth. Come back down to Earth. All right, so this is the masculine energy read for my Geminis. Who happens to be a Gemini? Gemini happens to be a masculine energy because it's an air sign. So let's figure out what's going on with my Geminis in the month of April 2026. All right, so I have the Strength card here. Some of you may have strong fire sign in your chart, or just Leo in your chart. And I have the Seven of Swords. Air sign. Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Aquarius to be specific. So I have a very strong Leo and Aquarius here, right? Leo and Aquarius are polar opposites or sister houses of each other. There's a imbalance going on here, like a separation. It may have to do a lot with your solar plexus, is kind of what I'm hearing. Like you're able to think about outside the box, right? You have always been a person that's been willing and able to think outside the box, but for some reason lately, something has been sabotaging you. With the Seven of Swords here, like your creativity is no longer accessible, and like you don't have the time or the strength to really think outside the box at this moment. Interesting. I think for some of you, it will do you good to connect with children, to connect with animals, even going to like a circus, a carnival, something fun that reminds you of youthfulness or childlike behavior. With the Strength card of the Seven of Swords here and the Seven of Swords here, because it does look like there's something mentally plaguing you. Like there's like, and it's like, it's not overthinking, it's like self-sabotage. It feels like self-sabotage. Let's clarify this with the Game of Thrones. My Geminis. My Gem and I. Knight of Cups in the reverse. Ooh. You feel defeated with the Knight of Cups in the reverse, right? There's something that has defeated you. It feels emotional. It could be emotional. Could be spiritual. I don't know. Could be a little bit of both. But you feel defeated. And maybe that defeat is bringing you down to the point where your solar plexus is blocked. Right, so some of you may are like, what does the solar plexus do again? Look it up, because some words may be more insightful than for me to just give you a general meaning. But the solar plexus has a lot to do with you know, creativity. And if it's blocked, you know, you may feel guilty, or for some of you, fearful. And like, I also feel like some of you may be a little needy at this time. And it may be because you feel blocked, right? Like, usually you're not a needy person, but during this time, you kind of seem to be very needy, or somewhat needy, with the Knight of Cups in reverse. But you don't talk about it, right? You like, shh, I don't want people to think I'm, you know, I'm truly feeling this way, or, you know, something's really bothering me at this time. So you keep it to yourself. You don't really talk about it. You know, when I look at the armor on this Knight of Cups, he's really protecting himself. He's like, nobody needs to get inside my brain or my heart. But then you feel needy. So how are you supposed to be getting help if you don't talk about it and be about it? Right? I mean, obviously not to anyone, you know, someone you trust, someone that may be that therapist for you, right? It could be a spiritual therapist, could be a relationship therapist, could be a sexual therapist, could be a career therapist. I don't know. But there's somewhere in your area of life that feels blocked at the moment, and it feels very self-sabotaging. And I'm sure you know, don't even know that it's self-sabotaging, but something here is telling me it is. You're like, it's not self-sabotaging, it's because of this, it's because of that. But when I see the Seven of Swords here, it just feels like you could get out of it. And you run with the self-sabotage, and you run with the feeling of, like, whatever it is that you feel, right? You run with the feeling of guilt. You run with the feeling of fear. You run with the feeling of defeats, and you're like, or the feeling of neediness. And it's working for you. So you're going to run with it. But it's self-sabotaging. Anything else? Yeah, Two of Wands, right? So when I'm clarifying the Seven of Swords, Two of Wands comes out. Yeah, and like, even here, like when I see the guy looking at the Two of Swords back here, like he's looking at the Two of Swords, even though he's running with this feeling, but he's like, you know, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing right now, right? Maybe for some of you, you don't know what the fuck you're doing, and that's okay. But some of you do need to communicate that, right? When I see the Two of Wands, yeah, the Two of Wands here, right? Fire sign. Some of you may have Leo, again, in your chart, strong Aries or Sagittarius. Doesn't have to be. But Wands is a fire sign. It is a masculine energy. It is the feeling of, it is the energy of doing, not just being. I'm not just gonna be. I'm gonna do. Right? That's the difference between masculine and feminine energy, right? So there seems to be an imbalance here for sure. I think that was the very first thing I said. There's some kind of imbalance, separation going on within you at the moment. And with the Two of Wands, it kind of confirms that. But it also feels like it's temporary, right? It feels like, you know, it's maybe a little bit of a stagnant energy that's going on with you at the moment. Could be something going on in your birth chart and the star is not aligning, or, you know, aspecting, or just, you know, maybe the stars are sabotaging you, right? It could be that. But it could be, you know, a little bit of both. It could be you, right, mentally, doing that to yourself, emotionally doing that to yourself, but it also could be, you know, something in your birth chart kind of aspecting that what's going on in the transits right now. A lot of Pisces and Aries at the moment, right? Pisces has a lot to do with letting go. Aries has a lot to do with, you know, doing, right? This is actually an Aries energy. And it feels like you're in between those two worlds of like doing and being. Interesting. So something about your masculine and feminine energy not being aligned at the moment. Your yin and yang doesn't seem to be aligning, but it's calling for it to be aligned. It's calling for it to be balanced. And I don't know what it is that you have to do, my Geminis, but there is something that the universe and your higher self is asking you to do with the Two of Wands, because it feels temporary. It feels like in the future there is going to be a beautiful horizon for you to look at, you know, when I look at this card here. Yeah, it feels good nonetheless. It feels like a really good energy. All right, moving on. All right, who's next? All right, we're almost at the end. I got 4 more zodiac signs to go. I know I won't be able to do it under 2 hours. My plan was to do it under 2 hours, but it's okay. Sagittarius. Hi, Sagittarius. What is going on? I miss y'all. I do miss y'all. I used to do, for those who are new, I used to do weekly or bi-weekly readings, weekly and bi-weekly readings, and then I used to do monthly readings. So I used to do all these energy reads way back when, before I started, you know, working on my projects, which, by the way, Oracle 33 could be ordered through me. Just email me. This has 11 astrology cards, a guidebook to help you with your day-to-day message, oracle message. And being human, Sagittarius, I was talking about this in the beginning of the intro, but this has a lot to do with the masculine feminine energy that I am talking about now, but also there's a lot more to the book. You know, it has a lot to do with society, religion, definitely living in the true spectrum of what you are meant to be, because you are meant to be more in this lifetime, Sagittarius. So you could get that on Amazon, ebook. You could order a hard copy at your local bookstore or retailer if they have it, but it definitely could be ordered. All right, so let's see. What am I going to use for my Sagittarius? I feel like using the Edgar Allan Poe. So let's do the Edgar Allan Poe for you guys. What is going on with my Saggies? Sun, Moon, Rising, April 2026. Fire sign. Fire sign is a masculine energy. Right, some of you may have more masculine energy, right? So more fire, air sign in your chart, which means that you just have more masculine energy. It has nothing to do with gender. What's going on for my Saggies? Okay, so I have the 10 of Cups in reverse and the 8 of Pentacles in reverse. Some of you are working on a project or writing down some ideas about something. With the 10 of Cups, it feels like it feels like a passionate thing of yours, but recently it has been not too fun. Maybe because family has taken your attention away and you're dealing with family at the moment. You know, here you are, you want to work on your next project, your next, you know, big idea. But family seems to be taking much of your time, or this could be deep rooted, right? This could be something very deep rooted where you're not able to complete what you want to complete in this lifetime or in this journey of life, because there's something blocking you, and it has a lot to do with generational patterns. Talking about generational patterns, family lineage, right? Healing family lineage is also in that book, but it does feel, I'm sorry, that was a Terrible segue. I did not mean to do that, my Sagittarius. But if it is, it could have to do with healing your ancestry, or dealing with generational toxic patterns. It doesn't have to be toxic, but nonetheless it feels dreary and dark. And maybe that's what's blocking you. Maybe that's what's holding you back. And you're like, I want to make money. I want to be happy. I want to continue working on my project, or, I want to execute my ideas. But something in the family, whether it's generational, whether it's your own family, is holding you back. Could be a little bit of both. Some of you may have strong Cancer in your chart. So you may have a Cancer in Sun, Moon, Rising, but it doesn't have to be. It could be North Node in Cancer, Saturn in Cancer, Mars in Cancer. And it's like you're not seeing, it's like hard for you to see the beautiful rainbow. You see the rainbow all the way in the background over here. Like it's hard for you to see the beauty of that rainbow because you're too busy. What are you doing? Collecting skulls? Memories? Past situations? Like, what are you trying to do with those cups there? Are you trying to fill them up yourself? Harvest them? What's going on with your emotions? And it feels like emotions and past, like the past is haunting your emotions, or your emotions is bringing up the past. With the 8 of Pentacles and the 10 of Cups here, Sagittarius. I don't like this energy for you. Let's clarify. Actually, I'm gonna use my Dark Mirror Tarots. Let's see what's going on with you guys. See if I could get better clarity with the Dark Mirror Tarots. But other than that, like, I do see you guys like working overtime, like, could be literally working overtime. You have great careers, great jobs. You seem to be, able to make money, pay your bills, keep your family happy, be there for your family. Naked before the stars. Interesting. Number 13. Is this 13? 18. 18. I think 18 is the star card, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, I'm trying to correlate the energy. But naked before the stars. You guys have a lot of talent. There's a lot of talent going on in everything you possess. And like, what do I mean to say? Like, you have more talent in this pinky than the next person has talent in their whole body. I don't know if that made sense. Well, I deal with this 5 o'clock shadow back here. The sun is in my eye. But it's like you hold more talent in one pinky. You ever heard of that phrase? Like, you hold more talent in a pinky than a whole orchestra, or a whole generation. When I see naked before the stars. And it's like you come up with bright ideas on how to make money, on how to, you know how to deal with problems, right? You're like the solve the problem kind of person. Like, I know how to solve a problem. You're very logical and reasonable in that way, right? You do hone in very strongly on your masculine energy, which masculine has a lot to do with logic and reason. right? You do things, right? You don't complain about the problem. You're not like, oh my God. You're like, how can we get this fixed? Right? You move on. Some of you are stargazers. Like you love looking at the stars at nighttime, or you record, activity in space, or you research, the stars, or some of you may be into astrology very, very passionately. And there's something very sexy about you, right? Whether you're masculine or feminine, it's like there is something very sexy about you that people can't get their eyes off of. They're like, that Sagittarius, I can't get my mind off of them. Right, and I think that charm comes a long way. I think that charm brings you luck in business, brings you luck in wealth, in your day-to-day activities, daily life. For some of you, I think that there's this other side to you. Like, besides thinking of the past, generational patterns, ancestral healing, whatever it is that I mentioned before this energy, some of you, when I look at calling the storm, some of you have really strong powers. There's this other side to you that has nothing to do with the earth, that has nothing to do with this energy, right? Like, there's this nighttime job you uphold in the 5D. It doesn't have to be a nighttime job. I'm just being vague, but you could hold this 5D job any time of the day, while you're sleeping, while you're not sleeping. But there is this like you are like a gatekeeper, the key holder, the way shower, the light worker, when I look at calling the storm. This is my Dark Mirror Tarots, right? A lot has to do with the subconscious and the 5 stages of grief. And when I look at calling the storm, it feels like anger. I think subconsciously there is something upsetting you, or there is some anger that you're holding on to subconsciously, right? More so subconsciously than anything else. When I look at calling the storm, and this anger could stem from, again, family issues, right? Whether it's growing up, your current family, could be generational patterns, could be addiction, abuse. It could be your childhood, right? Maybe your childhood is coming up. Maybe perhaps some of you may have not had a good childhood, right? You had some kind of dysfunction going on while you were growing up, but there's some anger that you're still holding on to, and this could be blocking you. This could be blocking your creativity, right? That's actually what I was talking about in the beginning. This could be blocking your business. your ideas. And perhaps the energy is asking you to look into this energy, this anger. It could be, angry Sagittarius when they were a teenager. It could be angry Sagittarius when they were a child. It could be angry Sagittarius when they were in their, 20s. But there's something that this energy in the month of April is asking you to look within. Again, not to segue, but perhaps this book, getting this book at this time, may help you. No lie. May really help you. Thank you, Sagittarius, for letting me promote that during your reading, because it does really feel like you may need to go back to something. And just to let you know, because I know some of you may be curious, but just to let you know what is going on in this book, I'll read you some of the chapters that we do discuss here. We discuss about society, religion, New Age concept. We discuss feminine and masculine energy, the transition of spirit, death, emotions, power, faith, ancestral healing is over here, overcoming fear, self-awareness, numerology, astrology. There's so much more in this book that may be able to help you at this time. Just a suggestion, and I'm not really trying to promote my book to you, Sagittarius, but it's just a suggestion. But there is something that the month of April, or even at this very moment, whenever you're looking at this reading, is trying to tell you, my loves. Okay. All right, moving on. That was good, actually. I did like that energy. It was deep. All right, moving on. Libra. Hi, Libras. We're having a full moon in Libra in a couple of days. Where? I don't know. Where are we? I don't know what day we're on. April 2nd, April 3rd will be a full moon in Libra. I apologize about the, maybe I could, let me close this shade here, guys. Hold on a second. I don't have to suffer through this. I could just close the shade. Does that work? Oh yeah, it does work. Okay, much better. Sorry guys, the sun was in my eyes like crazy. All right, so yeah, Libra. I think I'm going to use my Rider-Waite for you guys. So let's use a Rider-Waite. What is going on with my Libras? Sun, Moon, Rising. This is masculine energy. Despite gender, right? Air sign is a masculine energy. Some of you may have strong fire, water in your chart, which makes you a masculine energy. But if you listening to my intro, you would know that, in the end, we need to achieve both, right? It does require us to use both, right? Balancing the doing, which is the masculine energy, and the being, which is the feminine energy, can help you live a true, fulfilling life. All right, my loves. So we have the Ace of Wands that came out first, actually. Ace of Wands came out first. And the Knight of Pentacles. So fire and earth. Masculine and feminine energy. This is a good balance of masculine and feminine energy. Ooh, this feels sexual. All right. I don't know if you guys are able to see me with the shh. I'm sure you can. I'm just having a moment here with the 5 o'clock shadow. Okay, never mind me. Just listen to the message of the reading. Some of you are in a relationship with an earth sign or a fire sign, but it feels one-sided, and or it feels like somebody here wants a commitment, but the other one doesn't, right? I guess that's very one-sided, but there is some reciprocation nonetheless. There is reciprocating energy from both sides, right? Whether it's coming from this earth sign or whether it's coming from this fire sign. But unfortunately, it feels very one-sided. Like somebody feels like there should be more by now. Like, you know, you and I have been seeing each other for quite some time. I don't understand why, you know, I can't be seen in public with you, or we can't move on to the next level, or, you know, you haven't told your wife about me or your husband about me. Ooh, ooh. That kind of energy, you know what I mean? And the other person is like, I didn't come here for that, or, you know, I'm not seeing you for that. You know, I'm here for a good time, not a long time. Is kind of what I'm hearing. This could be you, Libras. This could be someone you know. I don't know. You tell me in the comments section what's going on. Ooh, that's better. Sorry, guys. We're just ADDing with... right? If this doesn't make sense, or if it's not resonating, my Libras, you definitely are more than welcome to look at your other placements, right? Sun, moon, rising. But this is kind of what I'm picking up with your energy. And somebody here feels a little insecure, or they're self-doubting themselves. Like the other person is attracted to you and they're with you for a reason. But someone here in the relationship is thinking like, are they only with me because I have money? Or are they only with me because I have a new car? You know, a nice shiny new car, or, you know, it feels materialistic nonetheless, right? Like it feels like, does this person only like me because of something materialistic that I have? You know, I have a good job, you know, I have my own home, I have my own business, you know, or I'm starting my own business. Does this person only like me for that? It's kind of what I'm picking up with the Ace of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles. Ooh, let's look at the let me clarify with the Knight, with the Rider-Waite. I was going to use my Sexual Magic Tarot, but I'm going to steer clear from it for now, just for now. Let me see what else I can get through these cards. So I have the Eight of Swords and the Sun card. Some of you may have a strong fire sign. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Leo specifically. Could be Aries, could be Sagittarius. Some of you may be dealing with another earth sign, like an earth sign or an air sign. Yeah, so somebody here has a very strong fire sign, and then the other person's either air or earth. You take that as it resonates. Some of you might have had a pregnancy scare with the Eight of Swords and the Sun card, right? There was some kind of pregnancy scare where you're like, oh, I'm not supposed to be pregnant. I don't know what this means. I mean, different stories for, you know, all of you, but whether it was a pregnancy scare or a real life pregnancy where it's like, you know, I'm pregnant, we's expecting, you know, but somebody here in this relationship is not trying to be in that kind of relationship. They ain't trying to build a family with the Ace of Wands. They're just like, this is new and exciting. I didn't want it to get this serious. Oh, what is going on with you, Libras? Libras. This is not the time to be playing those kind of human games on Earth. I'm going to use my sexual magic tarot. Any other messages for this situation going on here? All right, so I have the Three of Cups and the Hangman. Somebody here is in a long-term relationship, right? Somebody here is married with the Hangman and the Three of Cups. This is like a third-party situation, a situation that was not supposed to go any further than those Three of Cups here, right? It was supposed to stay at this. Sorry about the nudity. I'm so sorry with that. I should have been like, warning, warning. Somebody said, it's all about this right now. But somebody wanted more. Why? Maybe because there was a pregnancy scare, or there is a pregnancy. But what's happening is that somebody here with the Hangman is already in another commitment, is already in another long-term relationship. It's maybe even a marriage, right? They ain't trying to go that route. Whether it's you, my Libras, or vice versa. Well, I don't know what to say about this, except this is what's happening. I think that eventually, because the situation looks very serious, right? At least coming from the other person, right? Whether it's you, Libra, or the other person. This person is taking the situation very serious. And don't be surprised if it hasn't happened already, they expose this relationship because they're tired of being hidden. Or they're tired of you not being truthful with them, right? Maybe you're gaslighting them. Libras, you are known to do that. Stop with the gaslighting. At this time, it does not require gaslighting. At this time, it requires honesty. And taking responsibility is kind of what I'm seeing here, right? I think that your fun is about to be over. Maybe because you're expecting a child, right? For some of you, you may not even be in a long-term relationship. You're like, no, I'm not. I'm single, Leonore. I'm not married. I'm not living with anyone. However, I was not expecting this kind of long-term relationship with this person, or I don't want a relationship with this person. But here it is, right? Fun time is over. When I see the Eight of Swords and the Sun card together. Right, fun time is over. That just dropped down real quick, right? Real fast. I'm going to just leave it at that. I'm over you, Libras. Okay, figure this out, right? Maybe next month we'll get a better message for you. But this is what's happening for you. Whether it's in the month of April, whenever you're hearing this reading, but that's what's happening. I don't know how to help you. You got to figure it out in this big boy pants now. Big boy pants is what this reading is calling for. All right, moving on. All right, so we have two more signs here. Let's see where my last two are. Pisces. Pisces. You are the last zodiac sign of the wheel. However, you came in second last this time around. Second last, which means Capricorn is my last. Okay, Capricorn will be my last. All right, Pisces, what's going on? What's going on with my Pisces? I think Pisces is going to use my sexual magic tarot with you guys. I don't know why. I'm just feeling it. Just feeling it. Just be aware that there is some nudity with these cards. But we're going to move on from that. We're going to move on from that because we're just looking at the energy. All right, my Pisces. Pisces. Some of you may be being affected somewhere in your birth chart, right? Especially if you have Pisces rising, Pisces moon. Could be Pisces sun. But I feel like some of you are being affected by the transits currently at this time, right? There is a lot of Pisces and Aries in the air. And I think that some of you may have to let go of something or someone, a belief, a behavior. or maybe for some of you, the energy is calling for you to step into a new mission, a new meaning in life, with the transits going on, if you follow astrology. But anyway, nonetheless, let's move on to your reading. 4 of Cups and 8 of Pentacles. 4 of Cups and 8 of Pentacles. Some of you have a, I don't want to say secret admirer, but some of you may have a secret admirer. I don't know. But some of you do have like a, you're interested in someone. It's kind of what I'm seeing. Like, how can I put it? Because I feel like it's kind of going both ways here. So either you, Pisces, or someone you know that you either work with the 8 of Pentacles here, or met at some convention or some kind of event. But this person hasn't forgotten about you, or you haven't forgotten about this person. And they're like, they have like this secret crush, but it feels like, what do you call that? Oh my God, what is that energy when 2 people are not able to get together because of the powers that may be, right? The universe or whatever, right? Situation going on at currently. Requited, there we go. Requited love. This is what this looks like to me, with the 4 of Cups and the 8 of Pentacles. Unrequited, there we go. Unrequited, Leonora, love. Right? A love that can't get together because, again, could be the universe is not allowing you to get together at this moment, or somebody here is in another relationship, or somebody here is not thinking about relationships, or whatever the case may be, right? Different stories for some of you. Maybe it's an ex, right? Maybe for a small portion of you, it could be an ex wanting to come back, knocking on your door, and it's like, can we make it work? And you're like, no. Right? Vice versa, if it's vice versa. And I feel like the person that does have a crush on you wants to secretly take you out on a date, but like a small date, right? Like a day date, right? Like a date that requires the sunlight, not the night sky, unless it requires it to be, but still very small. Like, let's go out for coffee or hot chocolate or, dessert, right? Let's just go to this restaurant just to eat dessert. When I look at the 4 of Cups and the 8 of Pentacles, right? Nothing major. I just want to talk to you for like, an hour. I just want to see where you at, how life is going, how life is treating you, how your other person is treating you. How is work? Tell me what's going on with work and your whatever life. This person may have Virgo in your chart. You may have Virgo in your chart. Could be Capricorn, could be Taurus. Yeah, I keep seeing the same thing. Like, there is this other person, whether it's a masculine or a feminine energy, trying to spend time with you, right? Trying to get a moment with you. And what is it that you want to express to them? Let's look at the which card should I use, guys? I'm going to continue with the Sexual Magic Tarot. What is it that you want, Pisces, or whoever wants to be with this Pisces? What is going on? All right, so I have the Fool and the Two of Pentacles. Could be someone with Aries in their chart. But again, I'm picking up, could be an earth sign, right? Somebody with a strong earth sign with the Two of Pentacles here. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, or an Aries. Somebody here. I do feel like this person's going to take a chance with the Fool card. I don't know what's the taboo here. There's something taboo here. When I look at the Four Cups, like, you shouldn't be seeing each other, right? We shouldn't be meeting this way. What are you doing here? What are you doing at my house? Are you crazy? Or what are you doing at my job? What are you doing in my office? What are you doing? Right? Like, somebody here, it just feels like a taboo energy, like it's not supposed to happen, but it's happening. This person wants it to happen with the Fool card here, and it will happen either in the month of April or beyond if it hasn't happened already. This person just wants alone time with you. Girl, guy. They just want alone time with you. That's all. They're not, it doesn't feel sexual, right? It can't be. They're not going to be mad at that if it goes that way. But they just want, like, to get to know you a little better, try to talk to you, try to see, try to catch up with you. Bingo. With the Two of Pentacles. Trying to catch up with you. Over coffee, over dessert, over aromatherapy. I don't know. A walk, even in the park. And it feels serious. Like, this person feels very serious. But this person could be younger than you with the Fool card. You could be younger than this person. This person wants to take a chance with the Fool card. They're not even, like, this is like oblivious, but innocent. Oblivious, but innocent. Like, I really want to see my Pisces, and I really want to talk to them. I want to see, how they've been. Some of you could have been working with this person again with the Eight of Pentacles. Maybe you haven't spoken to this person for a while, and they just want to check up on you and see how you're doing. It feels innocent, but it also feels like they miss you. All right, I'm going to stop there and move on. All right, that is your energy for this month. Let me know how that goes in the comment section, because if that pans out, I hope somebody here is responsible. I hope there's some responsibility. Somebody here is thinking for the other person, because the other person is not thinking. All right, moving on. Last but not least, Capricorn. Hello, my Cappies. All right, which card should I use for you? I'm gonna use my Game of Thrones. All right, so this is masculine energy read for the month of April or beyond. Whenever you listen to this reading, if it resonates, good for you. If it doesn't, you're more than welcome to look at your other placements. See how that's going. All right, my loves. Let's just shuffle this a little bit. All right, I do plan to do this every month, masculine, feminine energies. I want to do the feminine energy in the next few days, God willing. Sorry. Sorry. Phone call that I have to get rid of. You guys are my last reading, so they're just gonna have to wait. Page of Cups. This came out in the reverse. Somebody feels sorry about something. Like, I'm sorry. They may want to gift you. Right? Something like they want to apologize for something, or they may not even apologize. They may just gift you with something or give you something in place of actually saying sorry with the Page of Cups. King of Cups. Ooh. Could be a King of Cups here, a Queen of Cups. It could be another water sign, right? Strong water sign nonetheless, right? Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio is like, I'm sorry. How can I make it up to you? Or, you know what, here's a gift, here's a $700 watch, and then that's their apology. I also feel like with the Page of Cups in the reverse and the King of Cups here, it feels a little emotionally manipulative. This person could be emotionally manipulative with the Page of Cups in the reverse, right? Like, they make you feel guilty, or they make you feel like you need to answer to them immediately, or otherwise they're going to throw a tantrum, or they're going to make you feel bad about something, or they may put the blame on you, or some kind of narcissistic behavior, manipulative nonetheless, for sure. Whether it's a male or female. Let's use these cards to kind of clarify the situation here. Five of Cups. Yeah, this was a breakup. Somebody broke up with someone else with the Five of Cups here. It was a breakup here. Like, look, it didn't work out. Sorry. It's not you, it's me. And it's like this other person's not letting go, either by gifting you or being manipulative. But I do feel like this person, with all these cups here, like, this is a strong water sign, Capricorn. Who are you dealing with that's a strong water sign? Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, very strong. Either Sun, Moon, Rising. They're like, even if they don't have water in their chart, right, or you don't know their other placements, they definitely hone this energy of being very feminine, very sensitive, emotionally intelligent. But sometimes they use the emotional intelligence to their advantage by manipulating, right, by pointing the finger, or playing the devil's advocate, if you will. But they want you back, Capricorn. Vice versa, if it's vice versa. They want you back. And they do have a lot of emotions for you with the King of Cups here and the Five of Cups here. They're like, I just love my Cappies. I feel it in my heart. I'm not just being dramatic. Like, I feel like their love for you. Right? I don't know, Capricorns, how you feel about this. Again, vice versa, if it's vice versa, maybe there's a reason why you did not want to be with this person anymore. I think that you're hurting too with the Five of Cups here, right? Maybe you're thinking about giving that person a chance. There is something that you miss about them, but you don't see they're missing something. It's like they're not checking all of Capricorn's list, right? That checklist. They're like, they check off the first three, but then the last three is not checked off, right? That's like, all right, the looks is there, right? The ambition is there. The sexy legs are there, but they're missing something, right? I don't know what that is, right? Maybe they're not creative for you. Maybe they're not a good cook, or they don't know how to cook. Maybe they're not good in one-on-one conversations, whatever. But there's something that's lacking from this person, and you gave it a chance. I do see that you gave it a chance with the King of Cups here, but because this person wouldn't have this tremendous amount of feeling if you didn't give it a chance, if you weren't, flexible in some shape, form, or other. But you're like, this reminds me of the Pisces energy happening right now, right? The Pisces energy in the skies is asking us to let go of something or someone. Look at that, the stars. To clarify the Five of Cups, some of you may be dealing with an Aquarius, or you have strong Aquarius in your chart, but I just think that it's like I'm seeing you reroute, right? That you rerouted. You're like, I was gonna go this route, but now I want to go this route, right? There's this change there, and you don't know where it's coming from. I feel like with the Star card here clarifying, it's like, I don't know where this feeling came from. All I know is that this is not what I want. I don't know where this future is taking me, and that's very unlike a Capricorn to really think of the future without planning it. Not saying that you don't have your things planned, and there isn't some kind of execution that you already put in order, but there is something else, right? Something more spiritual, something more cosmic, if you will, with the Star card, that's making you want to make a decision that has nothing to do with the old Capricorn or this old relationship, or it's like this new way of being. Like, I'm gonna, it kind of reminds me of the Fool card, right? The Fool card is ready to take a chance, despite the risk. This is kind of the feeling that I'm getting with you, Capricorns. And again, very unlike Capricorns to do that, but the energy is calling for you to do that, right? The cosmos is calling for you to do that. It's kind of like, we're not dealing with this right now, right? It's not fulfilling me. Right? It's not making me whole. So I'm gonna go this direction now. Interesting, Capricorns. I love that for you. And I'm an Aquarius moon sign, so I do things like that all the time. But I do understand, because Saturn rules both Capricorn and Aquarius, right? And because Saturn is a very strong indicator in your birth chart, that planet represents time, right? It represents precautions, but then when you get to the Aquarius energy, it's more of, I'm gonna go with my heart, or I got a download or a vision, and I think that's what I'm going to do, right? It's like you don't know where it comes from. You don't care where it comes from. All you know is that you feel it strongly, and you're going to follow that. Like, it's almost like like you're following a soul mission, right? Your soul path and mission, and you're like, I have to do this. Something spiritual in it. There is something very spiritual. Again, very unlike a lot of Capricorns, especially a masculine Capricorn. But it's like, I'm going to listen to this unknown spirit voice, right, or ancestor or heart, and I'm going to go with it. And it may have to do with a breakup. It may have to do family member, it may have to do with career, or overall it just may have to do with you, with the King of Cups here. It just may have to do with you finding a new way in life, either by thinking differently, feeling differently, doing differently, but something different. Something different. And it's calling you. It's a calling that has a lot to do with your soul connection to whomever or whatever. I don't know. You let me know, Capricorns. Okay? I'm over you. All right. That was April's reading for my masculine energy. Again, masculine doesn't have to do with gender, but it does have a lot to do with energy. Okay? All right, my loves. See you next month. Love you. Bye.